friend. Does it sound familiar? That game is called leapfrogging. Everyday English goes with. Here a different meaning. Forge, part of speech. For God's sake, I request you, I appeal to you, I urge you, respond. It is live. Do remember, it doesn't look good saying these things. I hope you all agree. Please edit later. Every day, Master comes and says, దయచేసి respond అవ్వండి, దయచేసి రాయండి. What nonsense is this? Is that my job? Why are you here? To write or just to listen? Only to listen, don't come. You want to listen, you want to write, you want to respond, you want to enrich, you want to interact, come here. This is the right place. And don't expect the faculty to say, please respond. Every time I have to say that. And every time I have to say what part of speech? 10 words, 10 times. Waste of time. As such, we are running behind the schedule every day. I hope you all agree. So if you cooperate, we can save, cut down. The moment I say forge, you say something. That saves our time or not? So forge, which part of speech is it? Please write a verb. Part of speech, it's a regular verb. It is both positive and negative. Write the noun form, forgery. What is the noun form of this word? Forgery. Forgery. You all know forgery of documents. It goes with documents. But you may not know, forge is also a positive word. Look at the meaning. Create something strong, enduring, or successful. Forge means to create something positive, progressive. Forge ahead, move ahead, grow. It is a positive meaning. But generally we have the concept of forgery, forge means negative. Do remember it has a positive connotation. That way it is important. Let us go to the next one, comprehensive. Only from this side, it should be from this side actually. Part of speech, adjective, very good, right adjective. Comprehensive, we have got many a time, I usually give 3 words. Comprehensive, holistic and exhaustive. Means what? Including or dealing with all or nearly all elements or aspects of something. Everything is considered. And write the combinations it goes with. Syllabus. Comprehensive syllabus. Also write policy. Comprehensive policy. Comprehensive system. Approach, very good. I appreciate. Comprehensive, write the word approach. The student has said that, that is a good thing. Let us go to meld. Have you heard of this? Tell me. It is a regular verb. Try to tell the type of verb also, higher level. A regular verb. Then what is the past form? Melded, obviously. Blend or combine. Blend means what? In the kitchen you have a blender. Mixing, combine. Simple word. Plunder is an important word. Put a star mark. Plunder, first time. Plunder, second time. Plunder, third time. Noun as well as verb. They plundered the city. The plunder was not acceptable. First one verb, second one noun. Plunder usually goes with wartime, clashes. People take advantage, they loot. Also write the word looting. I'm sure you all know the word loot. L-O-O-T. Steal goods from a place or person, typically using force, and in a time of war or civil disorder, clashes, it results in plunder or looting. Please come. Artifacts. It could be noun. Very good. Please write noun. It could be, please write the letter I above the letter E. A-R-T-I, A-R-T-E. But generally we prefer this spelling. Either way it is correct. An object made by a human being, typically one of cultural or historical interest. Not a simple thing. If you take a pen, you cannot say it is an artifact. But something that is monumental or belongs to culture or belongs to history, then we use the word artifacts. Let us go to the next one, strategic. Adjective. Strategy, noun. Strategic, adjective. But strategy has two different meanings, strategic also. One goes with a plan to achieve success. We ask a question, what is your strategy to crack a particular exam? But strategy also goes with the defense services. What is the meaning you see here? Relating to the gaining of overall or long-term military advantage. Underline the word military. Write one combination, strategic studies. Strategic studies means related to military defense of a country. How? What is it? Partners. What does he say? Part of speech. Strategic is adjective. Strategy. Are you asking about part of speech here? Combination. Generally, if you take strategic partnership, you are telling, wonderful, I appreciate that. All of you write strategic partnership. See, whenever you want to say something from your end, I appreciate, but my only request, say it loud. What is the reason? Back of your mind, you have a feeling, is it right, is it wrong? Right or wrong, least bothered. Say it confidently, loudly. Right, be happy. Wrong, learn from that. Either way, you get benefited. All of you, the same thing. Be bold, be confident, and say the word, whatever you know. So that's a very good combination, strategic partnership. And let us go to the next word, an important word. What is the next word? Impetus. Noun, very good. Something that makes a process or activity happen more quickly. But here you have to write another word which goes actually with chemistry. But we also use everyday English and effective English. What is that? Catalyst. You all know that. Something that quickens a process. That's also an important word. Let us go to the next one. Oh no. What is the next one here? Veera. Tell the next one. Part of speech. And write the part of speech. Outreach. It can be a noun, it can be a verb. Outreach usually we use as a noun. But outreached, verb, obviously, regular verb. What does it mean? The extent or length of reaching out. You reach someone beyond the limit, not the regular reach. You take the trouble to reach someone. Then we say outreach. Generally, it goes with NGOs. What do the letters NGOs stand for? NGOs, they use this outreach program. Outreach program, they want to reach the downtrodden people or backward communities or underprivileged people, tribal people. Outreach program. Write the combination, outreach program. That's an important one. Laud, a verb, regular or irregular? A regular verb. Laud, lauded, lauded. And write the letter F, means what? Familiar. I think we got last week, means what? Praise a person or the achievement highly. We did one editorial based on the Prime Minister lauded the young entrepreneurs, farmers. Remember, there we got that word. But imagine generally, praise someone. Praise is positive or negative? Positive. Sometimes what happens, some students come and say, sir, you're very good. I have my own doubts, sir. Sincere or trying to get something from me. So it is like a false praise. What is the word for false praise? Write the word flattery and write the meaning. Flattery means false praise. You're outstanding. You're the best. I have to think twice. Have you got the meaning? Let us go to the next one. We have got this again. Part of speech, omen. Noun. Good omen, bad omen. Noun, what does it mean? An event regarded as a portent of good or evil. Portent means something that is going to happen in future. An indicator of future. What does it mean? Indicator of something good or bad that is going to happen in future. We all believe in superstitions. When you started out, a black cat came in the opposite direction. Good omen or bad omen? What is wrong with the cat? Has it done something wrong? That is our superstition. Let us go to the last word. What is the last word here? Lapse. First you write the letter F. Familiar. This also we got last week. Part of speech. It could be a verb, it could be a noun. There was a lapse on my part, noun. They lapsed something, something lapsed, verb. A brief or temporary failure of concentration, memory, underline the word memory, or judgment. And when you lose your memory, sometimes after the accident you lose your memory. What is the word loss of memory? You all must have seen the movie Ghajini. Please write the word amnesia. Amnesia means what? Loss of memory. Some people have selective memory. That is a bit dangerous. Complete loss, no problem. Selective loss is a problem. And whenever there is an accident, two things happen. One thing, you lose your memory, rarest of rare. But generally the person gets physically hurt and won't be able to use his arms or legs. Then we use the word cripple. Cripple can be mentally crippled or physically crippled. Physically crippled, a person cannot use his legs. He became a cripple after the accident. Mental, someone gave him a shock. Then he became mentally crippled. Have you got it? Fine. All the words are over. Let us go to the editorial. What is this editorial about? Today, two editorials. One goes with sports. I did sports related yesterday. Have you guys read the editorial? Very good. And today I thought, why to bring again, though it's a good one. Why is it a good one? Neeraj Chopra got gold medal for the first time in World Athletic Championships. Wonderful editorial. But yesterday, so more or less the same words. Today's editorial related to polity, related to the ties between India and Greece. Any editorial that deals with the ties between two countries, you have to think of the past, the present, and the future. What were the ties in the past? What are the ties right now? How the ties are going to develop? When it comes to, you take usually economic front, science and technology front, business front. These are the areas they touch, and also strategic, defense related. How does it start? Old ties. I don't know how many of you have read this or have an idea. Indian Prime Minister has visited Greece after a gap of 40 years. How many years? 4 decades. So in the past there were ties. It refers to old ties. On the India and Greece bilateral relationship. Underline the definite article the. On the India and Greece bilateral relationship. If you use India in isolation, independently, will you use a definite article? No. But here, underline the India and Greece bilateral relationship. Then you can use a definite article there. It is not about two countries, it is about the relationship between two countries. But what is the main idea of this editorial? India and Greece are finding new ways to revive. Underline the word revive. Revive means what? To improve. Please write the meaning, to improve. One meaning, simple meaning, but also write to bring back the old standards. To bring back the old standards or old ties in this context. Revive the ties means what? In the past they had good ties, now they want to bring back those good ties. Revive the institute means what? In the past standards were good, now they want to bring back those good standards. Let us go to the revive what? An age-old relationship, already underlined. That's a standard expression. Age-old relationship means if you go into the past for many years, ties between India and Greece. Let us go to the main editorial. Speaking after a bilateral meeting with Greece's Prime Minister, Kyriakos Mitsotakis last week, Prime Minister Narendra Modi highlighted, underline the word highlighted. Highlight can be a noun, can be a verb. Here used as a verb in the past form. Highlighted that India-Greece bilateral relations have neither been diminished nor has the warmth decreased, despite no Indian Prime Minister having visited Greece since 1983. a lengthy sentence, but here you should focus on what is the idea behind this sentence. What does it convey? Though the Prime Minister has visited, or no Prime Minister, no other Prime Minister visited a gap of 40 years, the ties, bilateral relations have not diminished. No negative impact, nor the warmth decreased. Warmth, underline that word. Generally, we use the word, write the word warm. I am sure you all know the meaning of the word warm. What is the opposite of warm? I usually give 4 words: hot, opposite, cold. One pair. Warm, opposite, cool. One pair. Cold, opposite, hot. Warm, not so hot. And cool, not so cold. Have you got it? Hot, cold, warm, cool. But warm has another meaning. From that you get warmth. Write the other meaning with the combination first. Write warm regards. When you close a letter, when you write to your friend, how do you close the letter? Warm regards. Means what? Here warm means affectionate. What does it mean? Affectionate. We always use this word warm with mothers. Mothers are always warm. Means what? Mothers are always affectionate. Now you got the other meaning. Fine. Let us go back to. So sentence says, but underline here neither nor. That's an important expression. Neither the bilateral relations have neither been diminished nor has the warmth decreased. Please underline, has the warmth decreased 1 unit? Why should, is it in affirmative or interrogative or negative? Answer immediately. Has the warmth decreased? Please write interrogative. The warmth has decreased, affirmative. Has the warmth decreased, interrogative. Answer my question, why should you use interrogative form? Underline the word nor. When we start a sentence or a clause with a negative word, the clause or sentence should be in interrogative form. I hope you, do you know this rule? Write this example. Seldom he visits his parents. Seldom he visits his parents. Underline the word seldom. Means rarely. It's a negative word. Answer my question immediately. Is the sentence right or wrong? Mark it wrong. Why is it wrong? The rule is, when you start a sentence with a negative word or negative words like seldom, hardly, rare, barely, scarcely, no sooner, the clause should be in interrogative form. Change it to interrogative form. Which tense is this? Present tense affirmative. He visits. What is the interrogative form? Does he visit? What is the correct sentence? Seldom does he visit his parents. This has been given in 1 or 2 exams, so I have written. Seldom he visits, wrong. Seldom does he visit his parents. An important one, you have to catch the pattern. Let us go back to the editorial. Nor has the warmth decreased despite. Underline the word despite. What is the other preposition with the same meaning? In spite of. What is important about in spite of? Exam point of view. You have to write as 2 words or 3 separate words. 3 separate words. That you have to remember. Despite no Indian Prime Minister having visited. Underline having visited. Put a star mark. And below that you write non-finite verb. And if you can write in brackets, perfect participle. What is it called? Perfect participle. It is important. That's why I'm taking some time. Anything very important from the exam point of view, I'm going to touch. What is this non-finite verb here? Then comes a question at the outset. What is a non-finite verb? What is a finite verb? A finite verb is one that has a tense, and it has to agree with the subject in person and number. A non-finite verb does not have a tense. It doesn't have to agree with the subject in person and number. For example, if I say, he is swimming, which tense is this? Present continuous. The word swimming has a tense. In this example, swimming is a finite verb. She has broken the cup. Which tense is this? Present perfect. Broken has a tense, finite verb. I'll change the two words. Swimming is the best exercise. Swimming is the best exercise. Swimming was the best exercise. Swimming will be the best exercise. Does it have a tense? No, that is a non-finite verb used as a noun. Second example, the broken cup is on the table. Which cup? Broken. Here, the broken cup is on the table, was on the table, will be on the table. Has the word broken changed? Does it have a tense? No. Means finite or non-finite? Non-finite, used as an adjective. Broken cup. Cup is a noun, broken adjective. And coming to perfect participle non-finite, write this one first quickly. Having completed the work. Having completed the work, I left the office. They have given this in many exams, so it is worth spending time. Underline having completed the work. I left the office. What do you understand from this? First I completed the work, then I left the office. There are two actions that happened in the past, one after the other. Then we can use two sentence patterns in English. One, we can use this one. This is at the higher level. And lower level, we use the past perfect plus past tense. Try to change it to that combination. I had left the office before I had completed the work before I left the office. I had completed the work before I left the office. First action, past perfect. Second action, past tense. Let us go back to the editorial. Despite no Indian minister having visited Greece since 1983. However, the absence of high-level contact has meant a lack of close strategic ties. No contact, obviously. There is a saying in English. What is it? Out of sight, out of mind. Have you heard of that? Out of sight, out of mind. You don't see something or someone for quite some time, then you forget about them. Out of sight, out of mind. So lack of close strategic ties in the way India has with other nearby countries in Europe, such as France, Spain, Italy and Cyprus. With these countries, India has ties, but high-level contact. With Greece, no. What is the reason behind? For 40 years, no one visited, no prime minister visited the country, so obviously you can't expect a close ties. Close strategic ties, underline one unit. To that end, Mr. Modi's visit, which end? Close strategic ties. To that end, Mr. Modi's visit, which came shortly after Mr. Mitsotaki's re-election in June, sought to leapfrog ties. Here, sought, what is the verb? Underline the word sought. Seek, sought, sought. Seek means what? Look for, search for. For all of you, there is one expression. You are searching for a job. So what is the expression for you people? Job seekers. You are all job seekers. Sought, leapfrog ties means jump, skip a few steps. India and Greece agreed to establish a strategic partnership. It is there, your expression. Strategic partnership, and announced the plans for a dialogue mechanism between their national security advisors, apart from plans for a skilled migration and mobility partnership, as well as, underline as well as, cooperation to complete negotiations further, India-European Union free trade negotiation on connectivity partnership. A lengthy sentence, a lot of words have been used, but in a nutshell, what does it talk about? Tell me. It talks about the different dimensions that go with the ties between the two countries, and all those dimensions have been mentioned. What are the dimensions here? It starts with India and Greece agreed to establish one underlined strategic partnership, then announced the plans for underlined dialogue mechanism between their national security advisors, apart from plans for a underlined skilled migration, mobility partnership, and also cooperation to complete negotiations for India-European Union free trade negotiation on connectivity partnership. Last one, connectivity partnership. There's nothing to learn as such, but a lengthy sentence. A lengthy sentence, if words are there, learn the words. If the words are not there, try to comprehend, focus on comprehension. A lengthy sentence, you should know how to read and comprehend. That will help in the exam. Shall we go to the next one? While connectivity, it talks about the connectivity between the two countries. While connectivity between the two countries was forged by Alexander's invasion in 326 BCE. Forged means what? In this context, not the negative word. It is like develop, result in, and establish, produce. All these words can be thought of. Forged by whom? Alexander's invasion when? In 326 BCE. Exchanges now have been mainly predicated on tourism. Underline, have been predicated, mainly is an adverb, put it in brackets. Have been predicated, which tense is that? Present perfect, active voice or passive voice? Passive voice, please write passive voice. Predicated, predicted, predicated. In a way, go with the same idea, talking about the future. On what? Tourism industry, trade about 2 billion US dollars, and migration of labor, because they talked about movement, migration of labor, without a more comprehensive bilateral strategy at play. There is no comprehensive bilateral strategy in hand. At play means in hand. In spite of that, they focused on certain areas. What are the areas? Tourism, trade, and the third one is what? Migration of labor. After that, speaking to the Greek newspaper Kathimerini, Mr. Modi hoped that, underline hoped that India's ambition to become a global manufacturing hub. Please underline the words global manufacturing hub 1 unit. If you use these in the descriptive paper, you get maximum marks. Right now, which country is known as the global manufacturing hub? China is known as the global manufacturing hub. Slowly, India is going to become the global manufacturing hub. If you take any product, iPhone also, where do they manufacture the components? China. Only thing they put the label, the US label, but all the things are manufactured in China, including iPhone. Here I'll take 1 minute, I'll talk about something interesting. Generally, we have a very low opinion about Chinese products. I hope you all agree. Quality point of view, very low opinion. Justified. And are they expensive? They are not expensive. We always use one phrase. What is the phrase? I want something cheap and best. This is beyond my comprehension. Why? Something cheap cannot be the best. Something the best cannot be cheap. But we always want cheap and best. That is a bit strange. And coming to Chinese products, there are two types. Many Indians don't know this. One, because we are exposed to cheap products, we have a low opinion. But if you go to the US, in the US also, they have Chinese products, but the quality is entirely different. You understand what I say? They don't export those things to developing countries because the US, they want only the best, no compromise on quality. So you may have two types of toys. One third rate or third grade, the other the best. The best goes to the US and other the one that is, to use the expression cheap and best, to other countries. So don't think everything that belongs to China is substandard. If that is the case, a simple question, how come China is a global manufacturing hub? It cannot become. Today they are supplying to the US, many European countries. When I talk about this, some students are very passionate about the country, patriotic. Once a student went and told the management, all these days I respected Murthy sir a lot. Today I was shocked and I am totally disturbed. Why? He praised China. He has communist ideas. I was shocked. What is this? I was talking about a particular city called Shenzhen. Shenzhen is a megalopolis. I was talking about in Shenzhen. Here, to construct a 60-storied building, in this city we don't have a 60-storied building. I think the highest a 55-storied building. It may take how many years? About 2-3 years easily. Yes or no? In Shenzhen, to construct a 60-storied building with all the modern amenities, they have to complete in 6 months. Beyond 6 months, one day, they cannot survive in the market. They are out of the market, out of business. I was talking about that. Does it mean I have communist ideas? Does it mean I'm praising China? I praise what is good in our country. I praise what is good in any country for that matter, need not be China. So I would like to reiterate, I'm not pro-China. Please remember, I'm giving the facts. Let us go back to the editorial. So where did I stop? Mr. Modi wants, obviously, his ambition to become India to become a global manufacturing hub could now be melded with Greece's aspirations to become an economic gateway to the European Union. Through Greece, you enter other markets, and once India becomes a manufacturing hub, we can use this Greece as a gateway to enter European continent. In addition, India and Greece, once plundered by colonial powers. What are the colonial powers? India was ruled by the Britishers. Greece, I'm not quite sure which colonial power, I'm not quite sure. Have also held discussions on the restoration of artifacts. So plundered. Today you all know Kohinoor, the diamond, belongs to India. Where is it? It is in London. So they plundered a lot of artifacts from India, from Greece. So they want to get them back, restoration of artifacts. They may find common cause in pushing legislation through UNESCO, that is the body which deals with art, culture and heritage, to help restore some of their historical property. So many sculptures, they are in London, they are in the UK. We'll go to the second part of the editorial. Their strategic ties have a strong geopolitical impetus. Already you got the meaning. Impetus means what? Something like a force or a particular thing that quickens or makes something happen very fast. Catalyst, I gave the word. Remember? Their strategic ties have a strong geopolitical impetus as well. Geopolitical, an important expression you have to remember. Mr. Modi's outreach comes as Greece, which has overcome several years as an economic trouble spot. I don't know how many of you know, but when I would do the mock tests and the editorials, way back in 17 and 18, we would get passages related to economic troubles of Greece. At one stage, it was almost bankrupt. You know the word bankrupt? Bankrupt, insolvency. But they came out of those troubles. The sentence talks about that, which has overcome several years as an economic trouble spot, and once over-indebted to Chinese investment, seeks to diversify its options. They had financial problems, they could come out. They depended a lot on China. They are trying to come out of that. They want to look at new options. In Greece's strengthened ties with Israel and Cyprus, in what is seen as a coalition to counter Turkey. Now, Greece has a problem with Turkey. India also has a problem with Turkey. It talks about that. India might find some common ground. Common enemy that provides a common ground. Your enemy is my enemy is your enemy. You understand that? Given Delhi-Ankara tensions over Turkey's role in the OIC and over Kashmir, the stand taken by Turkey not acceptable for India. In addition, India and Greece, once ancient maritime powers. Indians also, maritime powers means what? Using ships and going around the world, sailing. Because of that, today, if you go to southeastern countries, many countries you see India's influence. If you take this one particular place called Angkor Wat in Cambodia, have you heard of that? Indian temples over there. And many Southeast Asian countries, they follow Hinduism. They have temples. Because Indian rulers went there. How? Through ships, obviously. Greece also known for that. Maritime powers means using ships and going in for voyages or expeditions. In addition, India and Greece, once ancient maritime powers, face concerns over the maintenance of maritime security, sea related, ocean related security, in keeping with international laws. Mr. Mitsotakis referred to the common interests that bind the Eastern Mediterranean and the Indo Pacific regions. Lauding the landing, now it talks about coming to the recent accomplishment, a great achievement of Indian scientists launching this Chandrayaan 3. They lauded that. Definitely they have to. Lauding the landing of Chandrayaan 3, he said it showed favorable omens, good signs for the relationship between the most populous democracy and the first democracy. Which is the most populous democracy in this context? India. Which is the first democracy in this context? Greece. Suggesting that both countries use a favorable winds to set the course for more cooperation without allowing another 4 decades to lapse. Already 4 decades lost, without allowing another 4 decades to lapse. Easy? Fine. Now let us go to the exercises. Try to respond quickly. Here we have idioms and phrases. Some are familiar, some are new. What is the first one? In a very serious, very bad situation. What is the idiom? How many of you say sea? Very good. That is the answer. In dire straits. Someone is in dire straits means in a very bad, desperate, miserable situation. A situation in which it's impossible to succeed because of conflicting rules or conditions. Answer is E. Catch-22 situation. Catch-22 situation, there is a typical example. What is that example? When you go for a job, they say we want experienced people. Without experience, you cannot get a job. Without getting a job, you cannot experience. You cannot get experience. That is precisely we call catch-22 situation. Have you got it? That's what it means. Only a small part of the problem, the biggest part of the problem is hidden. The tip of the iceberg. You see only a little, more is there underwater. The tip of the iceberg. Because of that Titanic disaster, they could not assess the iceberg, the size of the iceberg. They saw the tip of the iceberg. They went ahead in the direction of the iceberg, thinking that not big enough, but they could not assess the actual size. Once it touched the iceberg, it resulted in the catastrophic event. What is the next one? To scold or hold one accountable for some wrong or error they committed. What are you left with? Take one to task. Usually right there, passive voice. It goes in passive voice. I was taken to task. He was taken to task by the management. That is past tense, passive voice. Remember, it is used in passive voice. And what is the last one here? Extremely difficult. Herculean task. I gave another one. What is that? An uphill task. Let us go to error location. Try to respond quickly. Even Novak Djokovic, who is among the greatest hardcore players, found it tough. Tell me the word or the which, because I could not divide lack of time. No error or error? How many of you say there is an error? Raise your hands. There is an error. What is the error? Answer my question. Do you see the time phrase here? Yes or no? Time phrase, yes or no? No. But does it talk about present or past? Found is what? Past. Past event, past incident without the time phrase. Which tense are you supposed to use? Present perfect. So what is the error here? Found is not correct. Has found. Even Novak Djokovic has found it tough. Who is among the greatest hardcore players is a clause to add more information to the subject. And what is this question about? In many competitive exams, they have given questions, similar pattern. A sentence that refers to past action, but in past tense, not correct. Any sentence that has a past action where time is not important, time need not be mentioned, and you don't see the time phrase, then remember we have to use present perfect, not past tense. Go to the next one. The 20-year-old Spaniard won his maiden Grand Slam crown in New York last year. My first question, error, no error? How many of you say no error? Raise your hands. Wonderful, no error. Here underline the verb won, past tense. Underline last year, past. So it should be in past, it is in past. No error. Please respect the fifth option. Question number 3. Among women, a reigning champion Iga Swiatek is a main draw card in spite of a not so encouraging build up. Answer immediately this one. Wonderful. Sharp eyes. In spite, right or wrong? I have already said this. In spite of 3 separate words. This is a common error. Mark it wrong. Write 3 separate words in spite of. Go to the 4th one. There was also the moral boosting victory in Cincinnati over Swiatek, to whom Goff had lost all 7 of her previous matches and all 14 sets. Should not take this long. What is the word here? Moral boosting or morale boosting? Yesterday you got this. I gave you the difference between moral, morale. And I wanted to give a few more pairs. Lack of time, I could not. It seems in the recent exam, they gave human, humane. They gave the word humane. Human, you all know. Humane means what? Kind. And I also give one more pair. Urban, urbane. Urban is opposite of rural. Urban means what? Sophisticated, polished, civilized. Sophisticated, refined, polished, civilized. All the 3 you have to remember. And yesterday you got, today you could not spot the error. That's not acceptable. Let us go to the last one. What is the answer for the last one? Spot the error. However, the rise of Coco Gauff adds a new dimension. The 19-year-old American has won 11 of her 12 singles matches since Wimbledon. You should not go beyond the 3rd word. What is the 3rd word here? Is it raise or rise? Rise is the right word. Please mark it wrong and write the rise of someone, the rise of something. They have given more than 20 times questions based on rise and raise in different competitive exams. Every time it is challenging because the context matters. You understand the context, you can answer. You don't understand the context, you cannot. Let us go to the closed test from yesterday's editorial. Please read quickly and try to answer. You should get all correct. What is the first one here? Carlos Alcaraz will look. How many of you say? How many of you say C? That is the answer. Will look to buck. To buck means what? To resist. Remember the word I gave, resist. So Carlos Alcaraz will look to bust this very trend, not depending the title, where he will resist. So he wants to win the US Open. When the 2023 edition gets underway at Flushing Meadows on Monday, the 20-year-old Spaniard won his maiden Grand Slam crown in New York last year and backed that up with the stupendous triumph. Stupendous means what? Extremely impressive. Very good. At Wimbledon over Djokovic. In a short career, the world number 1 has what? Shown the mettle. Idiom. Has shown the mettle. Proved that he is very tough. He's a tough guy. Playing against the stalwarts, the veterans, or the great players like Djokovic, Nadal, not easy. What is the next one here? has shown the mettle and focus required to be serially successful, defending titles at Barcelona and Madrid this year. But to that at a but to do that at a major is a Herculean task, very difficult. He has to also contend with Djokovic, compete with Djokovic, who at 36 still looks sprightly, active, lively. At the recent Cincinnati Masters, the Serb what? Outlasted. Do you see that? Outlasted Alcaraz over 3 pulsating sets. Who has got all correct? Try to respond quickly. A realm means what? Domain or field of activity. More embellish, decorate, add more things, decoration, and morale. Confidence at a particular situation, especially when you are losing something, you should have high morale. And pulsating, exciting, very good. A reigning champion, current champion, the one who is holding the title, grueling, tiring or tiresome, and which results in fatigue. Fatigue means what? To get tired to a great extent, exhausted. And roster, a plan where the employees have to take turns. Employees or groups have to take turns. That is known as a roster. That's all for today. 9:50. Is that okay for you people? I'm glad I could complete all the exercises except 2. What are those 2? You can start packing, no problem. Questions to, answers to questions, and also write about the editorial. Thank you very much. Have a